Do you know what costs more than luxury these days? Convenience. Whether it's next day shipping or food delivery, convenience promises to save us time, but it's often quietly bleeding our bank accounts and affecting our peace of mind. So number one is the hidden price tag of convenience. Modern convenience is often wrapped up in instant gratification and invisible costs. Whether you're hopping in an Uber instead of actually walking because you're lazy, or doing delivery instead of cooking even though there's food in your fridge, and Amazon Prime for just one item, okay? When we have contactless, we're barely even thinking about the money that we're losing every time we tap. The cost isn't always huge, but of course they all add up, whether it's a service charge here or an extra fee there or a delivery cost. You start to feel like you just don't have much money every month, and it's because of these small purchases adding up over time. So if you think about something like a delivery charge, don't get me wrong, I love when my groceries are delivered right to my front door, but sometimes I do it out of pure laziness because I'm like a 3-minute walk from a massive Sainsbury's, so I shouldn't really need to be paying for delivery fees, right? And if you're spending that £4 delivery fee every week, that's over £208 a year just because you're maybe too lazy to walk to your closest shop. But you do have to think about opportunity cost as well. If, for example, it takes you an hour to go to a grocery store and your hour's worth of time is actually £20 because that's what you get paid every hour. If you can, of course, work in that hour or do some cleaning or another task, it's probably a good idea to spend £4 and save an hour. But if you're only watching Netflix or on your phone for that hour, you've of course wasted time and money there. So kind of weigh up your opportunity cost, understand how much your time is worth, and are you using that time in a beneficial way, or are you just kind of wasting money there? Number two is how convenience short-circuits mindful spending. It removes friction, which actually removes reflection. So for example, if you can just hop in an Uber straight away in 2 minutes and you can get to your destination so much quicker than walking or public transport, it removes that friction there because you just see the benefit of getting to a place quicker and you're not actually thinking of the monetary impact. Let me give you an example. My cat here, who is actually fast asleep on the rug in front of me, right? She's super cute. I'll try and do a little photo shoot for you later, right? My cat Rua had to go to the vet recently, but usually I would try and get a taxi because I feel like it's the most convenient and maybe it's the best use of my money. But actually this time I tried something different because I worked out the maths of it all, and it cost me £17 for one way in a taxi. However, to take the bus was only an extra 10 minutes. However, the cost of that was £1.75 for one way. So I was paying 10 times the price to get a taxi, but it was only saving me 10 minutes of time. So it wasn't actually worth spending 10 times the price for something that didn't actually give me that much of a benefit. And spoiler alert, my cat was absolutely grand in the bus. She was obviously in her carrier, totally comfortable, and she was absolutely grand. Have you yourself been overutilizing taxis because you just presume it's the best option and it's convenient? But when you break down the time and the money aspect, you will really start to question what you're doing. Also, let's talk about enabling emotional spending. If you've had a really stressful day, maybe just go home and click on the first thing you see on the internet to buy. Need dopamine? You put an order in. Feeling low? You tap on something else. It's often emotionally driven, and it's often your mindset as to why you might be overspending on these small items. You're not actually solving your problems there. You're just spending $4.99 on a delivery fee and also spending way more on a takeaway for yourself, which will actually not make you feel better in the long run. And of course, the big thing here is you're starting to normalize this high cost for low effort. So it might become normal for you to never cook because you always just get a takeaway, or to never have to wait for a bus because you're so instant with your Uber clicks. Because your budget and your nervous system can't deal with all of these high cost, low effort things. And you don't want to start to feel overly privileged that you deserve stuff fast and you deserve stuff quick. You really need to understand the rule of patience, and actually it's okay to be able to wait for certain things. And if it's better for your budget and for your mind overall, maybe you just need to step back and understand where your money is going first and then take it from there. Number three is the bigger cost, not just money. For example, convenience promises you to save time. But let's say you've ordered a McDonald's, right? And you have to wait 30 minutes for the McDonald's to arrive. You haven't saved time there by not cooking, because if you're just scrolling on your phone for the next 30 minutes or watching something on TV there, you haven't utilized that time well, and you're just, of course, doom scrolling until your McDonald's arrives. However, if you were to cook instead of doing that and to listen to a podcast while cooking, you would have saved more money, you would have learned something in the progress, and you would have bettered your cooking skills instead of throwing money down the drain and actually probably, if it's McDonald's, eating something that's not even good for you. Also, let's talk about the mental load. If you've got loads of emails of everything that you've subscribed to, or you keep getting flyers through the door because one time you ordered the Domino's pizza, okay? It's an absolute mental overload and you will start to feel overstimulated. So when you start to reduce these things and get rid of digital clutter, like unsubscribing to things you don't need, it will of course be an absolute weight off your mind as well. Number 4 is what to do instead without going absolutely off grid and being a hermit. Number 1 is to identify your top 3 convenience crutches. Is it Uber? Is it takeaways? What is the thing that's absolutely driving you to convenience regularly? And work out when you usually reach for these things. Is it when you're really tired at the end of the day from work? Or is it when you're really stressed out with your family and you just want to purchase something quick for yourself? If you understand the emotional core as to what's driving the spend and you fix that emotional core, you will of course save more money there and be a happier person, I imagine. Number 2 is to create a low effort solution for this so that it's not going from absolute convenience to, oh my God, I have to do everything myself, crazy mentality, right? You can of course ease into it. So if your kryptonite is something like Deliveroo and you keep getting takeaways, what you can do then is if you're really tired at the end of the day from work, right, you can prep yourself in advance. So maybe at the weekend, do a few meals and then freeze some for the week ahead. So when you get in really late from work, all you need to do is take that meal out of the freezer and pop it in your microwave or oven. So it's still a convenience there for you and you don't have to waste energy by cooking, even though I think cooking is a creative thing and it actually relaxes a lot of people. But if you're kinder to your future self there, you will be on the stepping stones there to actually get away from takeaways altogether. I feel my voice is getting raspier and raspier as the video goes on, so sorry guys. And number 3 is to use convenience intentionally. So instead of always falling on Uber rides because it's just absolute habit, you can of course use an Uber if you feel like, do you know what, this serves me today. My knee is feeling sore, so I shouldn't walk, therefore I shall get an Uber. However, if you feel in good health and it's a lovely day outside, then of course you can walk or take public transport that is a lot cheaper instead. Because when you cut out the autopilot of just doing things because you're used to doing them and actually be a bit more intentional with your life, then you will start to feel the benefit from it. And number 4 then is to run the cost as an experiment. Let's say you use Uber once a week and it costs you £20 a week, okay? At the end of the month and at the end of the year, if you add up all the times you've spent there, has it been hundreds, has it been thousands? Once you understand that total sum, it will of course be a bit of a shock to your brain and then you will less likely do them if you don't need them. Convenience isn't evil, but it is sneaky. The goal isn't to remove all eases from your life. It's to stop paying a premium for a life that you don't even feel present in. You can of course use convenience as a tool, but not a trap. What's your guys' biggest convenience trap that you always spend money on? Let me know in the comments below. For me, I used to embarrassingly buy these little jars of easy, lazy garlic, and it was pre-chopped so that I could just throw it into my cooking. But now I'm like, for God's sake, do I not have 30 seconds to cut up a garlic bulb for my meal? So I have saved a lot of money because those things used to be like £4 and now garlic is like £1. So even though it's just the principle there, you're saving money and I wasn't losing any time by buying an actual garlic bulb. I'll pop this video here because I think it'll really help you guys on your wealth journey. Thanks for listening guys, I appreciate the support and I tend to post 2 videos a week. Feel free to tune in next week for 2 more videos. Alright, thanks guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.